So today we are testing the Rode Interview Go, which is this interview stick today, as we get ready for the launch of the Runpreneur Challenge, to see how it goes. I've got my wonderful colleague Claire with me today, and let's see how it goes. So this is a part of the Runpreneur Challenge where we're on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It's a staggering 40,075 kilometres. It's going to take somewhere in the region of 11 years to accomplish, so plenty of time to raise the money. My challenge is to run vlog every single day, a minimum of 5 kilometres, and I'll even do it barefoot style. So as we get into the challenge more, we launch officially in around about a week's time. We're going to be doing lots of interviews and lots of runs with people. So I've got this lavalier mic, I think that's how you pronounce it, here. It's not connected at the moment because we're testing this kind of more conventional microphone that people interview with, this Rode Interview Go. So the process we're going to try and test when we get past this crazily bumpy road is how good the audio is on this microphone as opposed to the lavalier, because the lavalier, I'm not technical in this regard by any stretch, but the lavalier mic has a kind of an open pickup zone of audio, so it kind of covers this whole area here, whereas I think this microphone here will make it more directional, so by talking into the top is how we'll pick up the audio. So the idea is when we do running interviews, is it will be almost like a relay baton, and you'll be passing the microphone between each other. Now for running, I think it'll be fine. Be interested to see how Claire gets on with biking. So we're going to have to try and find some kind of flat surface to be on. Otherwise, cycling one-handed holding a microphone whilst trying to talk within it could be quite a challenge. So yeah, probably not the best test track to test this on. But overall, an update on the launch. It's on the 2nd of July, and I'm going to be interviewing my mentor in business and marketing, Rob Moore, who is also known as the Disruptive Entrepreneur. He has millions of podcast listeners, hundreds of thousands of followers on all of his social platforms. He's an absolute marketing genius, and he's going to be certainly helping. I'm just going through mud. Certainly helping. Claire's got to try and get through a puddle. Certainly helping in the marketing focus as well, which is going to be a real asset to have on our side, because I've said all along that yes, this is a running challenge. Yes, it's a fundraising challenge, and we're doing everything for the right reasons. However, if we fall short in the marketing side of things, we just won't raise the money because we won't have the reach. Without the reach, it's very difficult to get the followers. Without the followers, you won't get the donations. And often, when you're trying to approach corporates and products, endorsements, etc., you need to have a fairly decent social media following for them to buy in to what we're doing. Now, I don't have any doubt we'll get that, because when you're doing something over kind of 11 years, the longer I go into this, I think I'm just approaching 8% of the way there. It's quite a big milestone considering I'm just approaching 390 days running straight, so quite a significant number of days running just to get to 8%. Just goes to show how far we have to go with this. But so we will get the following, because I think people will buy into it the longer it's been going. But if we do things right from a marketing standpoint at the early stages, we can really expedite that process and get following, get the reach, and it can be far greater to begin with. So hopefully Claire's going to catch me now as we're on a little bit better piece of road, and I'll pass the interview microphone over to her to test, and we can ask Claire how ultimately she's been doing with the launch. So the other thing I have to get used to here is when I'm asking a question, I obviously don't have my own mic. We're passing a microphone between the two of us, so I need to get used to remembering to ask my questions holding the microphone before it gets passed across. Otherwise we may end up sticking with the lavalier mic, because you don't have to think about things as much. So do you think this is flat enough, Claire, for you to take the mic?
I swear it wasn't that bumpy before.
I think they can't hear you, Claire, because I'm holding the mic. But okay, well, let's keep going. Let's get around the corner where we're back on road, because I think this is certainly not the best test conditions. But so we've Claire is going to take on a slightly different role moving forwards. I mean, she's worked with me for a long time in different businesses, etc. But her real passion is social media, marketing, creativity, innovation, trying to drive kind of engagement. And she's got a real passion for social media, so she's taking on a role in the vlog moving forwards, whereby she'll be basically like the creative content manager, and she'll be focused on the creativity and the content that we produce for each platform, and also she'll be highly focused on driving engagement. I think the problem I've had with the vlog to date is that it's often so it's often so consistent in its delivery, because it's the same pretty much every day, that when we first started doing it we were getting massive engagement, but obviously if you do it 385 days straight, then the attention and the interest will wane somewhat, which is why we need to focus on different types of content, so more image based, more text based, more short form video, lots of different styles to try and mix it up, to try and keep people's interest. And that's what Claire's going to be focusing in. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Claire now. I think we've got a relatively flat bit of road, and I want Claire just to kind of give us an update on what we've been doing for the launch plan, what her strategy is to try and drive engagement moving forwards, and I'll pass the mic over.
Well, that was interesting. I've got to try and manage this with one hand now, but at least we've got no potholes. Got pouring eyes as well, so apologies. So we are a couple of weeks into the launch, which we've been kind of running up to for 3 weeks prior to the official launch date, which is the 2nd of July. Obviously Kevin puts out content every single day anyway, that's the whole point of the vlog, but we've been putting out and just testing different pieces of content really, just trying to obviously make people aware of the launch leading up to it, and the sort of 21 days leading up to it. So we've been putting out content on all of the social media platforms that Kevin's on, which is pretty much all of them. And just trying to get the engagement up and get people interested and understanding what we're launching. Because obviously Kevin's been running for over a year now. How many days is it?
It's about 385 days.
Oh God, we're going to have to get used to this, aren't we? 385 days. So he's been putting out content for every single one of those days anyway, doing the vlog. So people are already aware of Runpreneur, but in terms of actually officially launching the challenge, whereby we're going to be focusing on raising that £1 million for the 6 children's charities. So that'll be the 2nd. I think Kevin's already updated with regards to what the plan is, haven't you, for the 2nd? We're running with Rob Moore. So that's pretty much it. Any ideas, any feedback is also really welcome from any of you guys that are looking at the content, because we'll be trying all sorts of different content. Kevin talks about his passions and entrepreneurship and running. We've got the running side of things. So anything that you guys want to see more of would be great for feedback. I'd really appreciate that. Sorry, I've got a really pouring eye. I'm wobbling now, I'm fading somewhat. That's pretty much it from me, Kevin, really. If I can pass this back to you, see if this works.
Yeah, look at that. It's like a 100-metre sprint relay team. But thanks, Claire. I think the other thing, we're toying with lots of different things just in terms of ideas to kind of drive engagement, because it's so important, because the more engagement we get, the more reach the posts get, the more followers we're going to obtain. The more followers we obtain, the more link clicks we're going to get on the website, the more interest in the challenge, the more donations we're going to raise. And as we stated before, the bigger the social profiles, the easier it's going to be to get corporate sponsorship and product endorsements, etc. So Claire's been doing a number of things with, she's got this kind of 21-day plan she's put together, where it's kind of different types of content all in advance of the launch to try and get a bit of an interest going. We're also trying to reach out to publications and things to get some following. We've got some other people out there who are looking to put me on their podcast and things to try and get me some more reach. And I know we've kind of fixated on this July 2nd launch, but that's the first day we'll start taking donations. So my plan is to reach out to my nearest and dearest and beg for some donations to try and start the challenge off, because we just want to get some money coming in to begin with, which starts the kind of momentum, and then we'll be, but we've got 10 years and 10 months to push this, so it's not it's not like we're going to miss the boat if we don't do everything by the actual launch date. So it is a little bit of a different kind of mindset here, because it's such a long challenge, and there's going to be so many different battles and so many different events that we take on. We're going to be doing world record attempts. I've got 2 world record attempts this year planned. I haven't announced the second one yet. Well, I'll announce it pending approval once Guinness World Records come back to me. But I'm in to do the Cambridge Half Marathon as in my ninja costume, because I own the world record I'm the holder for the fastest male marathon runner dressed as a ninja. But there's randomly some other fella over in the US who seems to hold the half marathon record. So I just felt I couldn't be the fastest marathon without the fastest half marathon. So I feel I can beat its time. It'll be a challenge, but going for that in October. We've got London Marathon in that month as well, so I'm looking to do another world record attempt. The outfit will be announced pending approval from Guinness World Records, so we've got that to kind of come. We've got a 24-hour endurance race during an ultra marathon during September, which is there'll be a team of 4 or 5 of us doing 10k laps for 24 hours, so that will be pretty exciting. I've got hopefully the Hope Alive tour again, where I work in conjunction with Operation Orphan in October as well, which is a running from Hull to Liverpool to Nottingham and back to I'm getting filmed behind me now, from Nottingham and then back to Cambridge. So it's about 360 odd miles between a team of 9, and I did 100 miles in 3 days a couple of years back when I last did that event. So there's loads of things coming up which we'll all do kind of mini launches for. So there's so many opportunities to keep driving this, but I think ultimately I'm a little bit frustrated at the moment in terms of perhaps my message and what my vlog is about, because I vlog about my passions, which are entrepreneurship and running, and that won't change. But when you think about it, when people see my footage and they see me running in bright orange and they see all the cool tech that I'm using, people automatically assume it's all about running. So you get running enthusiasts that will see what we're doing and then listen to the content about entrepreneurship and then switch off. And then adversely, you're going to get entrepreneurs who are really interested in what I talk about, but they see this guy in bright orange running and they think, oh, it's just about running. So then they don't listen because they assume it's going to be running. So I feel there's a slight disconnect in the content I'm delivering at the moment. And I'm going to do a lot more stuff around the charities, because that's really, really important to me moving forwards. Well, it's important to me now, but it's going to take some time to kind of work closely and intimately with each charity to get the information, the interviews, the case studies, finding out where the money goes and all that side of things, which I'm really passionate about vlogging about. But also I want to try and knit this all together. So maybe I try and focus more on running, because I am running, it is a running challenge, and anybody who's a running enthusiast will understand that, and try and gear everything more around running rather than entrepreneurship, and then tie in entrepreneurship in a linked or an indirect fashion with running. So me and Claire got quite a challenge to kind of work out on that side of things, on how we're going to do that. But that'll be exciting and interesting, and like I say, please, I'm trying to drive engagement here. Give me some feedback. If anybody, all feedback is taken constructively. I'm quite thick-skinned these days, so be as brutal as you like. But ultimately, I want us all to be on the same team here, because we want the children to win. The only reason they're going to win is if we raise enough money to genuinely save the lives of the ones that need it the most. So any feedback on what we're doing, any ideas? I mean, we always talk about driving for donations, but anybody who's got marketing channels that we can use or we can be promoted on, that's just as useful as donations, because hopefully it'll get us in front of more people where the compounding effect of more reach will equal greater donation size. Anyway, so loads going on, but it'll be interesting to see how this process is going to work with this microphone. It feels completely alien to me, I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to pass you back to Claire just to give you a couple of minutes and put her on the spot. So what would your feedback be? And I know I've worked with Claire a long time. We have this kind of brother and sister style relationship where we bicker constantly about what we're doing. So if there's anybody who's going to be brutal and give me ruthless feedback, it will be Claire. So how do you think things has gone? What do you think we do well? What do you think we don't do as well? And what do you think we need to focus on to improve?
You're just loving the interview style and passing the baton, aren't you? Not interested in what I've got to say. Yeah, I concur with that. We do bicker like cat and dog, don't we? But I'm pretty brutal, so expect it from me. But I think we do quite a lot well. But there is definitely areas for improvement. And I think what you were just saying, Kevin, about the type of content, like what the topics are, etc. There's a bit of a crossover, isn't there, and a bit of a potential confusion. So that's what we raised and was thinking about. So you're now asking me to spin round. What? Why? Oh my God, this is hilarious. This is funny. This is funny. What did you do today, Claire? Well, I went out on a vlog whilst riding a bike holding a microphone. Just a day in the life of Runpreneur Challenge. Yeah, there's a lot we do well. I mean, the regular content's fantastic. You know, everybody knows, to put a lot of content out there. There can be too much. I think potentially we're putting too much out on different platforms. But ultimately there's lots of things we can tweak and change. We've got time to do that. We've got a long challenge ahead of 10 to 12 years. Does that mean I've got to work with you for the next 10 to 12 years, Kevin? Yeah, so there's a lot of time to kind of tweak and change things, really. But the content that's going out is great. I think it's useful content. But like you say, a little bit of a crossover and a confusion there. So yeah, it's just a lot of things to think about, really, over the coming months after the launch. But I think generally what we're doing is good, and a great cause, obviously. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to try and gain my steadiness back.
Thanks, Claire. So, well, yeah, we'll draw it to a close there. But honestly, if anybody's watching this, if you can just give some feedback on what you think we do well and what we don't do well, I think one thing we need to do better is obtain feedback. Now, we get feedback in terms of the metrics that link to the content. Obviously, how many views, how much reach, how many likes and comments, shares, engagement in general. But that's no substitute for somebody just taking the time just to say, you know what, this is good, but try doing this or try doing that. That's where feedback becomes super valuable. So I think that's one thing that's come to mind. We need to do a bit more market research, really, on the followers and people, what they want to see more of, and try and let them dictate to us rather than me just come up with these random ideas from what I learn and vlog about them. I think perhaps that's something we can incorporate moving forward. But that's pretty much it from me today. As always, if you've got any questions on any of this, drop us a comment. I'll respond to every single one. If it is a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog episode and I will tag you in. Do check out the links in the bio where you can access the challenge.runpreneur.co website, which is where you can find all about what we do, how we're doing, how you can get involved financially and non-financially, and hopefully help this amazing cause of raising £1 million for children's charities. Because I always said that I want to be able to sit on my deathbed and say, do you know what? We had a go. We created a community of people who genuinely saved the lives of children, and that's what all this is about. It's not about me. I hide behind the Runpreneur brand. I want it to be about a movement of people who get involved in this and genuinely save lives of children. So that's ultimately what it's about. So as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. I can't even wave, I'm holding too many things. Bye.